Good evening. Welcome to Families of Fellowship. You know, it doesn't seem possible that 4 weeks have already gone by since we've been on this incredible journey. We went down the road for a while and took an exciting trip and talked about having a passion for God. Boy, the second week we came to a fork in the road and went off this way for a while, and we talked about having a passion for others. 1 week we took another turn on the road and we went down that ways for a while and talked about having a passion for the Word of God. This week I hope your heart's been challenged again as we've talked about having a real passion, having a heart for the church. You know, the devotions have just been excellent again. They have thrilled my heart and stirred my mind as I read them. I like Brother Daniel's devotion there, the first part of the week, as he talked about in Acts chapter number 2, how that the people were saved, they were baptized, and then added to the church. He said that they got involved in what was going on in that early church. You see, he said they didn't go back home and just start attending St. Mattress Church, if you will. He didn't mention it, but I've heard other preachers say, sad, but there's a lot of Christians who think they are undercover agents for God. God doesn't intend for you to be that. He intends for you to be involved. Oh, then on the next day, I believe Miss Stephanie talked about the bride getting herself ready for the bridegroom that's going to come, and how that we, the church, are preparing for eternity. Well, those were some exciting thoughts. And then I believe it was Brandy that talked to us, and she talked on 2 different occasions there. She talked, number 1, about we're all important, no matter who we are and what our gift is. We are important to the church. On the other day, she talked about how we ought to be excited about using our gift in the church. Brother Kenny had a real cute, humorous story, if you will, about the 4 people who lived in the community, the same neighborhood. Everybody, anybody, somebody, and nobody. And it just challenged us that any of us can get involved. Any of us can do the things for God. You know, this evening we are at the Jordan Valley Park here in Springfield. We're not too far from downtown Springfield. Several years ago, everyone would come to town on Saturday afternoon, and the square in downtown Springfield was the happening place, the place to be. People would come there to do their shopping. Maybe they would come there to visit with friends. They would come there maybe for entertainment. The old theater is just down the street from us. But there were some good memories as they came to the square in Springfield. There may be some in our group tonight that you remember coming to the square in those days. And you may say, boy, those were the good old days. But can I tell you something? Now, listen to me, talk to me now. Can I tell you something? I remember being there in those good old days, and yes, there are some good memories, but there were some struggles as well. You know, time has a way of removing some of those bad memories for us. This week I was teaching school at Walnut Grove, and it was rather humorous to watch some of those kids. I was teaching the ag department, ag class, and we were in shop, and they had a small bicycle that probably belonged to maybe a kid that was 5 or 6 years old. And I had these high school boys take this bicycle and ride that thing. Comical watching them ride it. They built a ramp there on the sidewalk, and they'd ride that bicycle as fast as they could and then fly up that ramp, go into the air, and then just absolutely wipe out as they hit the ground. Had a lot of fun watching them. One of the boys fell and he cut his hand a little bit and he was bleeding. I was impressed with what one of the other students said to him. Listen, he said, "Oh, get up and don't be a baby." He said, the pain will go away after a little bit, but the memory will last forever. You understand that? The pain will go away, but the memory of the good times will last forever. You know, I remember my childhood, some good memories. And I bet you I can bring some thoughts to your memory this evening. It'll cause you to remember some good times. For instance, if I were to simply say, Grandma's kitchen, automatically I think of homemade bread. I think of apple pie. can smell them cooking now. It makes me hungry just to think about them. What'd you think of when I said Grandma's kitchen? Good things? How about if I said Grandma's rocking chair? Well, that brought back good memories to me. I would think about the stories she used to tell. I would think about how that I was always loved there, unconditionally. And so we can say those words that remind us of good things. I wonder when we say Valley View Baptist Church, what kind of memories does that bring to our mind there? I don't know about you, but I think of good fellowship. I think of friends. I think of worship services that are out of this world. I think of music that must be the sweetest you could hear this side of heaven. I think of mission trips. I think of missionaries. A lot of good memories when I think of Valley View Baptist Church. I hope we're creating some memories with what we're doing here. But I have to stop and wonder, what if Valley View Baptist Church did not exist? What if all of a sudden we were taken out of Walnut Grove? Would Walnut Grove even miss us? Would they care that we were gone? Would some of them be glad that we were gone? Is our ministry impacting our town so much that if we were gone, they would say, wow, we miss them? We're only going to have 2 discussion questions tonight, and the first one I want us to focus on as we're talking about having a passion for the church is, if our church was gone, would they miss us? Basically, what I want you to talk about is, are we impacting our community? How could we do a better job of impacting our town? So I want you to not necessarily go around the room and everyone say just a sentence, but I want to have some real discussion. What can we do to have a greater impact on our community? How can we improve what we're doing? I'll rejoin you again in just a moment. I hope we're impacting lives. I hope we're impacting our community. You know, I love this place, Valley View Baptist Church. I love the people. I love the worship. I love the fellowship. And one thing that blesses me so much is programs like this, Families of Fellowship. I hope that this has been a positive impact on you. I'm going to ask a few folks to say just a word on the tape here about how this has been a blessing to them. And then I want you to take time here in your group tonight and discuss if this has been a blessing to you. If so, how? Would you like for us to do it again? Leaders, group leaders, make sure you take note of what the people say. I want to hear the feedback from our family. I'm going to hear from our folks now, and you discuss it after that. I'll rejoin you in just a moment.
I enjoyed Families of Fellowship because it allowed us to get together in a home and be able to talk with each other more and find out more about each other. It was something new. Everybody wanted to join in on a new thing.
I like the fact that it gave us all the opportunity to get outside of the church environment and actually let our walls down and just be able to fellowship one-on-one.
Everybody just got together and it was a really nice environment. It was really relaxed and everybody was just having a good time and we were all cutting up and it was great. I think people today, sometimes they kind of get so busy, they kind of lose that connection with each other. And so with this, it was time that was set aside so you could actually get with people and just relax and have that human connection again.
We went to Lola's house last week and it was actually the first week we got to go out and visit a home. We had been a host home the 3 weeks prior. So it was just good for us to be able to get out and actually being in somebody else's home, we got to know another family a little bit better than we had before. I believe it was Tim and Michelle. And you know, they'd been coming to church here for a while, but we had never personally been able to actually sit down and talk. But it was just good to be able to fellowship with them and feel like we know them a little bit better. Plus we were able to share some prayer requests with one another, so I think it was a good thing on both sides.
I think my favorite host home was probably last week when I was at O'Quinn's house because they were interesting and there were a lot of people there and there were people my age, so I didn't feel as secluded, or there were lots of teenagers there and that was the first time I was actually in a more teenager-y environment.
just learned that it's been a really good thing, and it's been real important just to get together as a family and set time aside out of your schedule to actually make time to read your Bible together, especially with the kids. I think it's been good with the kids, allowing them to see Michelle and I both, reading the Bible together and along with it.
I learned a little bit of everything, like a little bit from all of the discussions that we had in the last 4 weeks.
It's hard for me to believe that Families of Fellowship is drawing to a close, but I have certainly enjoyed it. I think it's been a great success. Not just because of the numbers we've had on Sunday nights, but because of what it's doing to our family. It's drawing us together. And I think one reason it's been such a success is because we've had total involvement from our church. From those who have done the daily devotions of writing them, those who've organized the homes we're going to, the people who opened their homes, the team leaders in each group. Those of you who've been so faithful to come. Everyone was involved, and that has made it a success for us. We've learned in Sunday school, when we pull together as a unified body, we can accomplish so much more. But is today's devotion said, are we drawing this to a close, or is this just the beginning? Families of Fellowship may be coming to a close, but I hope what we've done is just starting. Hope you'll continue to get together and fellowship and get to know each other. Invite someone over on Sunday night. Enjoy some fellowship. The only thing I ask is just do it after church, okay? But let's continue to be involved in each other's lives in the weeks to come. As I close tonight, let me just give you some reminders about some things. I'm very excited. 1 week from today, our salute to veterans. This coming Saturday, 9 o'clock, we meet down at the school to set things up. Right? Remember now, Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, we have one unified service. And then we'll eat lunch, and then about 1:30 we'll have some music. Our service will start at 2 o'clock. Hope you make sure you're with us on that day. 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to have a hobo party. Weather permitting, we're going to be down in the amphitheater and just relax and have a good time. Some special things planned for the hobo party 2 weeks from tonight. And then I'm excited about our teen center. I hope you'll do me a favor. Would you, number one, pray for our teen center? Number two, would you maybe consider being involved financially with the support of it? But number three, as the occasion rises, will you get involved and go to work with us as we develop this youth center for our community? I'm excited about what Families of Fellowship has done for us. I'm excited to see how our people have come together. I hope this is not the ending tonight. I hope it's just the beginning of the good things that we've seen develop the last 4 weeks. Tonight was Friend Night. If you brought some guests with you, make sure you introduce them to everyone. It's been great to have you here. We hope you've enjoyed the time we've shared together as family. I'll see you next Sunday morning.